Welcome to Big Blend Radio's California Sequoia Country show, home to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, Giant Sequoia National Monument and Sequoia National Forest, and the charming historic agricultural communities that make up Tulare County. Hey, everybody, it is time to go up to California Sequoia Country. And where is that? Well, every first Thursday, we get to chat with our friends from the Sequoia Tourism Council. And you can go to discoverthesequoias.com to learn more. But where is California Sequoia Country? It is in Central California. This is where a majority or a lot of our food is grown and raised. So everything from peaches and plums to olives, to olive oil making, to dairy, cheese, ice cream, chocolate. It is a delicious destination. It's a big region. It's all under Tulare County. And this is where we go every first Thursday on Big Blend Radio. Nancy and I, as we travel the country full time, we like to go there as often as we can. We're going to try and stop by in the fall this year. But this region is known for being home to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, Giant Sequoia National Monument, Sequoia National Forest, and it has many other parks and lakes and wonderful communities to visit. So definitely put that on your bucket list. If you're going into those parks and natural areas, as we always say here on Big Blend Radio, please watch your footprint. Don't put your trash in the parks. I'll be coming after you. But anyway, we've got two great guests joining us. Suzanne Bianca is back. Suzanne is from Visit Visalia. So go to visitvisalia.com. And we also have Alida Verduzco Silva. Did I say it correctly?
Yeah.
Thank you. Alida, welcome back. And she is from the county of Tulare. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
And I know we're going to be talking about your new website and also like a widgety app for visitors. You can go to discovertularecounty.com for that. The main link for everybody is discoverthesequoias.com. And on there, you're going to find, I think, aren't you getting your new visitor guide this week, Suzanne?
We are. We're very excited. We've been working hard on putting together a great guide that visitors can use to start planning their trip to our area. There's some great maps. There's information about the parks, about the forest. We have information about our communities, annual events that people can plan to attend if they're coming to our area. Shopping, restaurants, I mean, everything is in there. It's a great guide. We're really excited to have that come out, oh gosh, by the end of this week, I believe.
All right. So everyone discoverthesequoias.com because that is digital too. So people can get it right online, right? So they don't have to have it mailed.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I love that. We love digital magazines here, don't we?
Yeah.
After all, we are Big Blend magazines, but I think it's great because people can link through and be able to, view it and be prepared for on their way there where they're going to stay and everything. Because Alida, right before the show, you were talking about just how big Tulare County is, and that's why you created this app. So how big is Tulare County?
So it's more than 5,000 square miles in area. It's more than 3,000 miles. More than 3,000 miles. Yeah, these numbers are kind of staggering. It's one of the biggest counties in the state. It's a very big, chunky region in Central California. So the big question is, how do you explore all of that? As Suzanne pointed out, there's just so much to see, so much to savor, like you said, Lisa. So how do you wrap your mind around that? And also, how do you come up with a game plan to really discover all of those things so that you could discover the sequoias and discover the communities? So one thing that we're working on at the county is we've commissioned a digital app. It was released last year. We worked with Visit Widget, a vendor that provides mobile applications so that people could see maps of different itineraries and where to go. We're currently working with the Sequoia Tourism Council and other partners, including Visit Visalia, anybody else that can give us points to plot it on the map making abilities within the app. People could go to discovertularecounty.com to take a look at the app. And we're currently also creating a taco trail because this is such a delicious destination.
Yes.
So many tacos to try. This is a very vibrant food scene. Sometimes you may see it online as 559 Foodies. There's a group on Facebook actually all about the best foods in the area. And in fact, they kind of travel between Tulare County and Kings County just searching for the best food. So we're taking submissions right now for the best tacos in Tulare County. And once we get all the submissions, we're going to plot at the top 25 of those taco spots. And then we're going to release that on the Visit Widget Discover Tulare County app. People people could download it on the iPhone App Store or on the Android Store, and we hope people will take a look. If anyone has any ideas or questions about maybe where to find the best Valentine's Day destinations, we could also plot that. So sky's the limit with the application. It's a big investment for our region, and it's one of the ways that we're trying to make it easier to navigate not just the 8 cities, but the 40 plus community unincorporated communities in the area. We just have so many communities throughout Tulare County, from mountain communities to communities off of the 99. There's a lot going on here in Tulare County.
Yeah, like Wood Lake Botanical Gardens, as it gets into spring, is a wonderful destination to go walk. And you're out by Bravo Lake, and you can go to the lake, look at the ducks and the egrets and the herons. But the gardens are gorgeous, and I know that it's about to hit with the roses and everything.
Well, the
Um,
blossoms are starting to bloom, Lisa.
Already?
Yeah, they already are. They've had a few buds. It's really exciting to see. The almond tree, peaches, nectarines, stone fruit, all are starting to blossom, and it turns this county into a sea of pink and white. It's really beautiful. People come from all over to just drive through the orchards and take the blossom trail and take photos in the blossom in the groves. They can't go into the groves. This is a business,
Yeah,
but they can drive along the roads through there, and it's just a really gorgeous time of year. And the mountains are
that's awesome.
snow-capped. It's just a really spectacular time of year, in my opinion.
Well, if you want to take a good photo and be next to the trees, then go to Wood Lake Botanical Garden, because
Exactly, yeah.
you're allowed to do that. And if they have fruit, they'll let you like have some. They're so cool over there. And I love it because it's done by volunteers, and a lot of them volunteers are from school, Wood Lake Pride, and Manuel and Olga do such an amazing job over there. It's like there's not a time that we go to Tulare County and not go there. Like that, I put my foot down and I am not leaving the area until we go there. That is that. But I was going to say with Wood Lake, what's great is you can go walk around this garden, learn about what you can grow in Tulare County, which means just about everything. And so, and I mean it, everything from blueberries to even bananas. And it's true because they have bananas there. But then it's just around the corner is like a really good taco shop, and I cannot remember the name, so I need your app. I need your app because
So, so yeah, you need our app. You definitely need our app. We'll be sure to plot Wood Lake's best tacos to make sure that people can find them.
yeah, I love that. And I think this is really great because, it's like having the visitor guide and the app. It's like the best of both worlds for visitors to come out. And like you're saying, there's just so many experiences. I remember when we started our tour back in 2014, and you guys were, I think, one like our third main destination. And we kept coming back, and I think at one point we managed to spend a whole month in Tulare County, and guess what, we never finished anything. Like it just was, there's so much. So the food is fabulous, the flowers, now the blossoms will go all the way through April, right? Because then the citrus comes in, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh
The almond blossoms are really mid-February to mid-Marchish, and then the orange blossoms start to kick in through April, which is just a really spectacular time of year. And what I was going to say about the botanical gardens is that it is a different experience every season. So
yeah.
if you've been to it once, go again, because it could be an entirely different experience, because you'll see a different type of thing that's in its prime in a different time of year. So definitely worth the visit.
I think,
And then like, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, Lisa, I didn't mean to interrupt you. To
Nope,
anchor
go
on
ahead.
to what Susanna is saying about just how agriculturally rich this region is, we also have the Antique Farm Equipment Museum at Mooney Grove. That's right to the south of Visalia, South Mooney, within Visalia. That's such a great park, a local county park for people to visit. And there's a museum where folks can learn a little more about how all of this Blossom Trail came to be, how we came to just
Mm.
be so productive in that space.
Well, that ties into, I know you've got, museums in all the different communities. And what's great is it actually shows the history of agriculture. And then I know like the World Ag Expo is coming this weekend. And then, next weekend after, well, in April, then they have the Antique Tractor Festival. There's a tractor event going in Tulare. I know that's happening in April. So everyone, if you go to tularechamber.org, I believe you'll be able to get that information. But World Ag Expo is February, I'll get the dates, February 11th through the 13th, I believe. So that, the 14th, you can actually have a vacation for Valentine's Day. But, agriculture is such it plays a role of the diverse background that you have in Tulare County of the diversity in cultures. So, when you go to that museum in Mooney Grove Park, Suzanne, that's one of my favorite ones because they've got all the Indian baskets, and then that one room shows all the different cultures from around the world that live and grow things in Tulare County. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is an amazing museum that has so many different components. Not only, like you mentioned, the cultural museum portion that talks
Mhm.
about all the different cultures that settled here and have impacted some of our, growing things that we grow here. There is the Native American basket collection and all of those pioneer era relics. There are houses that have been, or buildings that have been moved onto the property so that people can explore, like our first school and a house made entirely of one tree, which is amazing. The wood from one tree, I should say. There's a lot of, and the Antique Equipment Museum, which is a new addition to the museum area. The local high school kids help to restore the equipment. It looks fantastic. So there's a lot to explore there. That's within the park itself. Mooney Grove was the first county park in California, and so there's lots of
Mm.
space to run, lots of places for kids to run and play. There's the big lagoon there, with
Ducks.
wildlife. Yep, absolutely. A lot of outdoor art there, including the end of the trail statue and other statues and murals throughout the park. There's an accessible dog park. I'm not accessible dog park. I didn't mean to say that. There is a dog park that has agility,
Mm.
is the word.
There
And
you
there
go.
is a all-inclusive play area. So people of all abilities can play. Alita probably can speak a little bit more to that, but it's a new play area that was added to the park that is accessible to everyone. And that's a real exciting addition to that park.
I think it's wonderful.
Cool.
I think you've described it so well. It's just such a beautiful park. It's actually one of my favorites. I love roaming through the oak groves there. It's beautiful. There are actually a couple of redwoods there as well. I think that the playground that Suzanne is talking about is really enriching the area as well as the dog park. And this is another way that we're making Tulare County easy to explore with our four-legged buddies as well. That's an
Mm.
important thing when people are traveling. We recognize a lot of people bring their furry pals on board. So there are many places where those furry pals are welcome and can make it into areas of the park that are okay to bring pets into, areas of the forest that are definitely okay to take those dogs for a visit, and parks like Mooney Grove where dogs have their own little place in the world.
That's really an important thing. When you travel with dogs, sometimes you're on a road trip and maybe people are spending even just one night in Tulare County, right? But they've got the kids and the dogs, and you know what? They need to run it off. Both of them. Run both of them. And so that to me is this role in travel that is often missed out by communities, is the fact that visitors do go to city and county parks, because they need their kids and their dogs to run before they get to the hotel. Otherwise the hotel will give them a call and say, you need to go to the park with your dogs and your little humans, but it really is, and it's also a way for us as visitors to get to feel what it's like to live there. And a lot of times, tourism leads to real estate, and I know that Tulare County is growing. It's a popular destination for people to move to, raise their family. So that's another whole part of exploring. It's like, oh, maybe we're going to move here, because I know you're a city like in Visalia. I know Tulare is a city. I know Porterville's a city, but you're not cities. You know what I mean? You're just not. It's mom and pop town. It's shops where you go in and people actually say, "Hey, how are you?" and actually mean, "How are you?" Not just, "Hi, how are you?" and "What do you want to buy?" They actually ask how you are. So, you guys have really warm hospitality, and I think that makes people want to move. And it's
Gosh,
just a
thanks,
nice
Lisa.
place. It's true. You guys have a little bit of the South in there. That
Maybe,
Southern
maybe,
hospitality. Well,
We're
maybe.
known for
because
that warmth. We're known for that warmth, and we're proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, going back real quick I did check on the dates. The World Ag Expo in Tulare is February 11th through 13th, and the California Antique Farm Equipment Show is April 11th through 13th. So it's for those that are interested in finding out more about where their food comes from, but you can find that at any farm stand too. And there's stores like Naturally Nuts in Visalia that he'll give you a whole lesson on different tree nuts and all kinds of things. And he'll let you know that peanuts are not a nut, though, you know, they're still a nut to me, but it's all good stuff. But a lot of good food. Um, can we give a rundown of just for visitors going to understand the different communities?
Sure.
Alita, do you want to do that part since you're the county?
Sure, definitely. There's a lot to see heading into Valentine's Day. If folks are looking for some romantic ideas, places to visit, or whether they're just traveling through the area on their lonesome or with family, we have Barrio Oil in Dinuba. That's right outside of Dinuba. By the way, some little known fact is that areas of Kingsburg, which is mainly in Fresno County, are actually in Tulare County. So there are areas in the outskirts that sometimes happen to be Tulare County, just as a side note. But for example, if somebody's traveling off of the 65 on the way to Porterville, they could stop at Orange Works in Strathmore. It's a lovely location. If somebody is going to the park and stopping in Three Rivers, they could take a look at the Gateway restaurant where they could dine riverside, and it's really romantic and beautiful. If someone's traveling on the 99 and they stop in Traver, they're going to find Bravo Farms, where there's this really lovely tree house and cheese making classes. If they find themselves in the Tulare area, they could go to Rosa Brothers to understand how ice cream gets made top of the morning
and
as
eat that ice
well.
cream. Eat that ice cream. It is
Eat that
good.
ice cream for sure, and have that delicious milk and your coffee at top of the morning. If you're heading into Porterville, you're gonna pass through smaller communities off of the 190. That's the main state route that goes up to the forest. Through that, you're going to see a bit of Poplar. You might end up in a little bit of Woodville. These are a lot of our unincorporated communities, which, by the way, happen to often have some of the best tacos in the area. You're going to see Tipton, Pixley. Pixley has the wildlife
The
preserve,
refuge.
where people
Oh,
could stop by and see a grassland, and next to Allensworth Historical State Park. So there's just a lot to see in those areas. You'll see communities like Alpaw, like Early Mart, that are a little on the smaller side. But as you make your way to Porterville, in Porterville, you'll see Stafford's and the Mud House and just numerous different coffee shops that you can really enjoy. Plano Jerky that still makes their own
oh
jerky.
yeah.
Then you make your way into Springville in the mountainside, and there you'll find just a little town that, by the way, if there are any Gilmore Girl fans out there, I think it looks like Stars Hollow. So just throwing that out there, if there are any Gilmore Girl fans, you have to check out Little Springville. It's beautiful. And then you keep going, you see Camp Nelson, which has a beautiful, beautiful Pure Point Bar and Grill where you could stop, have a delicious hot cocoa, maybe a piece of one of their wonderful chocolate cake or the jalapeno poppers. If you keep going all the way around, you could end up with a loop that brings you back down to California Hot Springs and back onto the 65 and close to the 99. So that's a way to explore the South Valley. And to that point, we're building those trails out in our application. And if people get our visitor guide, they'll start be able to plot those destinations as they prepare. And then coming back to Visalia, if you're coming through Goshen, you'll see a lot going on in the Goshen area. That's another unincorporated community heading into Visalia. People could stop by there for a quick bite. We have a lot of new gas stations and quick service restaurants there that people can enjoy on the way into the beautiful Visalia. I mean, I'll let Suzanne talk a bit more about Vintage Press and it's
Oh
Tommy,
yes.
right? Tommy's is their bread pudding. I would recommend the bread pudding at Tommy's. And as you make your way through maybe lodging at the Darling, you head into Farmersville. You'll have the opportunity to detour there before you hit Woodlake. And then you just keep going. Three Rivers is there, and then that sets you into the park. So there's just a lot there. Three Rivers Coffee. They have
Exeter. We got to give Exeter a shout out too. They
Exeter
have great,
definitely,
great restaurants as well. And you
and their
mentioned
museum
Stafford's.
and their murals, by the way, as well.
Oh yeah, the
In Exeter.
murals. Well, that the whole county is just like mural central. It should be on a map nationally for
Definitely,
being a
because
public art destination.
absolutely. Then, like after Exeter, you could either go down Lindsay, Strathmore, Porterville again, or you could just keep going through the park, or you could go to Dinuba or Woodlake. There's just so much to explore, and in every one of these communities, it's exactly what you said, Lisa. People could expect to be welcome. They could expect to discover delicious treats and museums. There are museums in each and every one of these communities. They're mainly outlined in our visitor guide, and there's also the Museum Alliance of Tulare and Kings County. Folks can visit that website as well and learn more about the museums in the region. But that's a high level view of just a lot of what you can do here in Tulare County.
Yeah, I just put on 10 pounds of tacos and
Some of us are
chocolate
still struggling to lose
and ice
them,
cream.
Well, and
No,
also
I
a
was
little
already
hidden
in
gem.
trouble.
Yeah, a little hidden gem I wanted to mention real quick when she mentioned Bravo Farms. That's a spectacular place to view the blossoms because you can go onto the second floor. That's not the right word, but the second floor is an outdoor walkway that is allows you to see across the freeway to just acres and acres of fruit trees and almond trees. And so that's where you'll see a beautiful sea of blossom. So if you're stopping at
Cool.
Bravo, make sure that you climb to the top. If you can either go to the top of the 7-story tree house, that's an exciting thing for kids to do, but just go up to the second level, I guess, and walk along the walkway and view those blossoms anytime between, mid now, because they're starting to bloom now and mid-March. And that's a spectacular view.
Suzanne, that brings up a good point. So sometimes I get asked the question, so where do I go see the blossoms? That's an interesting question because Tulare County is all blossoms. Can you talk a little bit about that, Suzanne, and your experiences with that question? I know you get a lot of visitors stopping in at Visit
Yeah.
Visalia. How do you answer that?
Well, we created a blossom trail, but it's also a blossom and orchard trail because, as you mentioned, there are so many products here. It's not just almond or fruit trees. It's blueberries, kiwis, it's cherries, it's
Oh,
all sorts of different nuts, pistachios.
wildflowers too, by the way,
Yeah.
in spring.
So,
Honey.
yeah, we have a map on our website that kind of helps guide people through the county, really kind of the area around Visalia specifically that has, where you can see the best blossom viewing, where you can see orange groves. There's a big citrus belt, especially in the Exeter and Woodlake area. That's a really dynamic area, and it's just so beautiful.
It smells like honey.
Well, and you
Jazz,
can,
like, oh,
yeah, and when you're driving to the parks, you can take sort of an alternate route that will ultimately get you to the park as well, but and get off the highway and you can go through some of these orchard areas and just view the amazing places where our food is grown. It's just really spectacular.
it is. It's beautiful out there. Now, you mentioned Vintage Press in
Mm.
Visalia. So, with Valentine's Day coming up and everything, and then there's a long weekend coming up at the end of the month as well. Um, I would say go there for martinis.
Oh, yeah, that would be
Yes,
nice. Yeah.
yes,
They have a
martinis.
beautiful, they have that, they have a sort of historic bar there, but they also have some architectural pieces. They are um, panels that came from the hole in the wall bar from the 1800s that are frosted glass on the upper half and wood on the lower half. It's a really
Mm.
beautiful, the restaurant itself is just spectacular to just look at all of the great architectural pieces. But having a drink in the lounge area is just a great experience and can be very romantic if you're tucked into a booth or in the corner.
So basically, this whole show is about food, cocktails. We got breweries. You got breweries all over the place too.
Yeah, lots are popping up all over the county, some great breweries.
Yeah, so that's a whole other exciting thing to do. Lodging wise, everything ranges from, brand hotels to there's a few bed and breakfasts and a lot of
Yeah.
vacation rentals as well, right?
Yeah, in fact, I should probably mention that we have a new bed and breakfast that just opened up in a Queen Anne
Oh,
building that was really
oh
completely
wow.
restored. Yeah, it's brand new, or not brand new. It's a building from the 1800s, but a complete renovation into a bed and breakfast called the JD Hyde um, Historic Inn is the name of the hotel
Okay.
or whatever lodging property. That's exciting. The Darling Hotel, of course, is the darling of downtown in Visalia area. But there's lots of hotels in different price points, and depending on what a traveler style is, they can find all sorts of accommodation throughout the county.
Most
Yeah, and
definitely.
little motels as well, run by mom and pops. And then there's camping. You can go camping too and RVing, different places and like Kauai. Isn't there a camping area in by Kauai River? Am I getting it all twirled around?
Yeah, there is a
Lake
couple of
Kauai. Lake
yeah,
Kauai,
there's
there it is.
Lake Quia. Yes, there's some
And Lake
Big
Success.
mhm,
success as well, definitely. They
yeah.
both have
Hmm.
those capabilities, and if people find themselves close to the forest, also there's the Camp Nelson Lodge, and Pierpoint Lodging, and each and every one of the communities has lodging. The parks as well has their own offerings, and there's just a lot of places that people could stay, and it's all going to be scenic. That's guaranteed. And especially coming to the region at this time, like Suzanne said, it's blossoms everywhere, really. I mean, it's not just the nuts, it's also just all the fruits that are grown here, and everything from corn as well to grapes. There's plenty of dairy to see as well. Folks can really see where our milk comes from, a lot of the cheese making in the region. We have a craft lactalis plant out of Tulare, so a lot of production definitely happens here in Tulare County.
So yeah, so this is all about flowers and food, everybody. And
Flowers
you've
and
got
food.
hiking trails all over the place. I was gonna ask Suzanne, when do the wildflowers kind of start in the foothills?
Those are probably, it's been a very mild winter, so those are probably going to start a little early, wouldn't you say, Alita?
Yeah,
I think
we're
they're
seeing them
starting.
already.
So I think they start down here in the valley area and then move up into the national park. So it's a long season because you can even get up into Mineral King in the middle of summer and still see some wildflowers. So yeah,
I
Okay.
would recommend that folks also take a look at the Sequoia Riverlands Trust and the things that
yeah,
they have going
Yeah.
on. They typically have some nice hikes into hunting for wildflowers and that kind of thing.
some guided
Um,
hikes.
some guided hikes. So that's a great way to kind of take a look at what's out there. They typically have some things going on in February and March, and so that's another way to explore it without making it into the big trees. Even if maybe a visitor is coming through and they don't have time to maybe make it all the way out to the parks, there's plenty to explore at the foothill, whether it's museums or public gatherings, tours, this type of thing. It's definitely available and currently being curated by organizations such as Sequoia Riverlands Trust.
That's awesome. Yeah, they have there's a park right outside your office. Well, just down the road from you, Suzanne.
Oh yeah, Korea
Um,
Oaks Preserve, our riparian oak
yeah,
forest. Yeah, that's a great
yeah,
little getaway.
yeah.
It is
That's
a
and that
beautiful
people
getaway.
can walk their dogs there too.
Yeah, they also manage a property that has a lily that only
That's
grows
right.
in this particular location, not anywhere else in the world, and not anywhere else in the county have they found it. So that particular preserve is only open one day a year, and they do guided hikes for people to go see this lily. It's really an amazing,
It's like a
um,
purple little lily.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've completed that hike, and you're kind of scavenging for it. And there's all this enthusiasm. You hike this really high hill. It's right outside of Porterville near Strathmore, so it's kind of in the in between area, and it's just such an amazing experience.
Cool. Man, I want a picnic now. If we're going to go hiking, we need a picnic. I think that's a good idea. Well, you
Yeah.
guys have got me all ready for spring. I know that spring is gorgeous, 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 but it sounds like it's all happening now. So everyone, discover the sequoias.com is the main website, and watch out for the new guide for 2025 coming out this week. And then also go to discovertularecounty.com, and that's where you can find the app. And then also, if you're going to go to Visalia, check out visitvisalia.com. We want to thank everyone for joining us. When you explore the area, there's so much cultural history. Do go into the museums. A lot of them show the Native American heritage as well. And also, if you're celebrating Black History Month, you definitely put Allensworth State Park, historic park, on your list. And a lot of the museums, I know Tulare, and then also the one in Visalia also showcases some of the areas Black history. Right? I was going to say,
Yeah,
Suzanne.
yeah, they'll have
Yeah.
on Saturday and Sunday each weekend this month. They'll have a video series that they're showing. So that's really a really exciting thing to see. That's at the Mooney Grove Museum the Tulare County Museum in Mooney Grove Park.
And
And
Allensworth is just such a beautiful community to see. The African American spirit in that community is something to witness. There are events throughout the year, and I would invite any visitor to please stop by and take a look at that charming community, and the state park.
absolutely. And the other thing too is Sequoia National Park has the very first African American superintendent, acting superintendent at the time, which was Brigadier Charles Young, and he's got his own tree in the park.
Yes, that's
Um,
absolutely
but
true.
he is the one who got the road actually created while he was the superintendent, and he was a Buffalo Soldier. In his career, if you look up Charles Young, his career is absolutely incredible. But the road going from Three Rivers all the way up into the top of the park on the General's Highway, was what he really worked on. So I think every time a visitor goes through the park on that General's Highway, they need to say thank you to Charles.
Absolutely, absolutely. And go, pay homage to his tree. They just recently, he was posthumously promoted to Brigadier General, and they replaced the sign in front of his tree recently. So that's definitely worth a visit. It's on the way to Morro Rock. So just stop in and take a look at that. It's really spectacular.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. You got me all excited and revved up. I want to go explore and I want to go see some flower power. I love it. I love that. So again, everyone, the links are in the episode notes. Thank you so much. We'll be back next month, the very first Thursday of March. Take care.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's California Sequoia Country Show. New episodes air every first Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. You can keep up with the show at bigblendradio.com, but also plan your Tulare County escape. Go to discoverthesequoias.com.